and I realized also that we have, all of us share many similar words, almost exactly the same words, and that's amazing. Yeah, for the fundamental things, we share the same things, the same words. That's my part, like my commentary. Thanks for all of you and for enriching my knowledge about the Albanian language.
So I wanted to say, so basically, like most of the body parts, we like, despite the change of the variety and the history of your and our language, but more likely is, I like to think, is like the same language, you know. But for most body parts, we have the same words, and I'm familiar with the Tosk dialect, and I'm familiar with the accent they use in Kosovo as well. So like I can really understand what they're saying, but like it's really fascinating how the language has gone like so through so many changes, and yet we still remain to speak the same.
For me, it was also important to be part here, and actually always to be part here, because till now I've learned dialectology theoretically. I have been learning the differences between dialects, between varieties in a theoretical view, and this helps me very much to understand also the how people really speak. And for me, as a linguist, this is great experience.
Okay, for me, of course, it's a pleasure. And I remember also the expression that Arberesh used is like that, na jemi kushërinj, but as we saw today, we might be more than that. We might be just brothers, not kushërinj, because there are a way lot more the same words for us. And gjaku jon I shprishur in Arberesh, it means like it's scattered, like in Albanian, in my dialect, I didn't really understood the meaning of this word, but I understood it today. And also, as Lydia said, which my dialect has a lot of different varieties. Also, it comes because my region, Muzeche, is also one of the most mixed, let's say, regions in Albania. Because my city, Fier, it's no more like 200 years old, and in Fier, the population came from many different parts. For example, we have like 20 or 30% of today's Fieracs are of ethnic Kosovo and Chameria origins, Albanians. And this is why we have also so many, from neighborhood to neighborhood, we have different dialects, let's say, or at least accents. And we have been raised to using all of them, both of them. So this is something which makes it really colorful. Of course, it happened in nearly all the different regions in Albania, and I think that it's easy for us to understand with each other. Also, if someone never heard Arberesh before, I think at least the concept he can understand it.
Yeah, exactly. For me, I always liked, from when I was 15 years old, the first time I heard somebody from Albania, a real life Albanian, like how many Albanians talk about us, like real life Arberesh. And it was in my school, and there were some people from Cooks, 2 people, and I could hear them talking, and I knew they were speaking, let's say, my language, but with a completely different accent. And immediately I started to talk to them, and I liked the similarity and the difference. And it was like the beginning of my passion to learn the similarities and differences between us, and to see that they are enriching of our language practice, that I call it Albanian language practice. We all have Albanian, but in different ways. We practice it differently. So for me, it was always like an enriching experience to hear how other people call the same words. And I notice when we're speaking that sometimes people are using some Turkish words like boy, and sometimes we are using some Sicilian words. So I can see that it's not something wrong with our varieties of Albanian, but we've took those words from our surroundings. And that makes me feel more okay about the fact that we do it as Arberesh people, to hear that Albanians do it in Albania as well and in Kosovo.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the same, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I want to say is, for me, it's exactly the same, you know, because the first time I heard a real Albanian speaking, I was like, wow. And I, you know, when I was at Concordia University, I did a course, I made a course that was comparing the Arberesh with the modern Albanian. And I realized that the structure of the language, the syntax, is practically the same. We have kept it in spite of the fact that we introduced a lot of words from Sicilian and from Italian, and in the Shqipria, they have also introduced a lot of words from Turkish origin, but the structure of the language, the heart of the language, the way of making the sentences, of expressing, is still the same. And this is something extraordinary. This is something, and by these studies that I made, and now with the things we are doing here, I feel stronger than ever the concept of Jakuish Prishur, because we are one nation, and it's beautiful.
Exactly. And what I wanted to say, like it's really fascinating that our predecessors were stubborn enough to really keep the language going, and they didn't give up on the language that easy, despite the fact we have so many foreign words. But like nowadays, every language has foreign words that they use on a day-to-day basis, vocabulary. But like I would say, like I'm really grateful that our language has been going for so long, and like it's really nice to be able to speak to Arberesh and to other Albanians as well, like to speak the language and not let it die off or change that easy anymore. So yeah.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with Lydia about the syntax is the strongest part of the language, and it can't be removed so easy. Like a language dies without the syntax. A language is disappeared without the syntax.
That's right. Look, for instance, the case of English. English has a totally different structure, the syntactic structure of all this, the Latin word, Neo-Latin languages. It's still English. It is still a Germanic language, even though more than 50% of the vocabulary is of Latin origin. So it's this, the syntax, the structure of the language is the key to keep a language going as what it is, which is a case of the Shqiptar and the Arberesh. We took the lexicon from the others, but we kept our language structure strong and going without change, and that's fantastic.
That's fascinating. It's fascinating.
That's what I like to say, that we kept our Albanian structure, morphology, syntax, everything, and even our phonology we kept, and we just adapted our words from our environment. So that's really strong. That I don't believe our language is endangered because of this. I think that we have the tools to keep our language. As speaking as an Arberesh person, whose dialect is spoken by 900 people. In Lydia's, it's like 7,000. You know, this is considered endangered in many fields. But I think that because our phonology and our morphology is so strong, our syntax is so strong, we can keep it Albanian, and we have all the tools we need to just accept these foreign words, what we call foreign words. Then for us, they're not foreign; they're our environment. You know.
That's right.
Part of the language.
Part of our language. Yeah.
No, you know, the borrowings are everywhere in every language. There are borrowings from other.
Exactly.
Exactly.
In fact,
yeah,
of
because
the language.
yeah, because there are some people that always complain about the foreign words, the borrowed words in a language, but they complain about what they see, not about what they don't see. That like in a sentence could be that 3 from 5 words are borrowed words, and they do not understand this.
And they don't
like
know
they are
because
part
they
of
were
the
borrowed
language
long
now.
ago, right?
Yeah,
Because they were borrowed long ago.
Of
So
course.
Exactly.
it's a fact of
course.
life. That's right.
Exactly. An Albanian person once told me, we don't have any borrowed words in Albanian. We can say everything in Albanian. And I asked him to tell me how you play the chifteli near the mosque. How do you play the chifteli near the mosque? Tell me in Albanian.
Yeah, but it is funny when you say here, but like in Albania, linguists are always attacked by this group of pelasgolog, which want to explain everything from the Albanian language, from the Illyrian, without any scientific argument.
Exactly.
They are just saying that it doesn't exist an Indo-European family of languages. They are neglecting all the science
Who is saying that?
developed till now.
No,
there are a group of people which
Clowns
think
on the
so.
internet.
Wait, they should go with a. They should go with a. What do they call it? The flatters. They should go with the flatters.
Flat Earth.
You know what?
Yeah.
No, the flatters. You know who are the flatters?
People who believe that the Earth is flat.
Yes.
Flat Earth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.